Okay, we're live. Before I go ahead and do anything else, however, I'm just gonna send this out. Send this out to every server. Well, not every single server that I'm in, but I'm gonna send this out to as many as I can. So we're finally off of WWE for a while, for the first episode ever. Ever. So, yeah, we're off of WWE. We're switching over to AEW stuff, and we've got another episode that's going to be related to AEW next week. So, hopefully, you guys can tune into that. That's going to be good. I'm going to be talking about, just to give you a little teaser of what next week's episode is going to be about, I'm going to be talking about the difference between Charlotte Flair and Jade Cargill, because I've actually found out some pretty interesting facts about Jade Cargill and both Charlotte Flair. Not on the same day, both on completely separate days. So, yeah, I just wanted to put that out there. And let's see, put that one here. And then let's go ahead and put this one over here. And then put this link in this server. That's not the right text chat. Let's put it in here. Did I put mine in the wrong spot? Oh, I got pinged. Oh my gosh, freaking Ray. We're in it's in my server. It's the Burn It With Fire text chat. Ray just said something in there, so that's interesting. Okay, I'm not even sure what's going on in here. Looks like the Hangout server doesn't have a promotion. It doesn't have a promotion thing. Oh well. Anyways, so episode 8 of Grand Slam. That's right, episode 8. And this week I'm going to be talking about Blood and Guts. First of all, hopefully you like the new header, the new logo, and the background for this. I just thought the old logo didn't look all that great, so I just decided to make a new one, and lo and behold, here we are. I've used this for the last couple of episodes 6 and 7, but now we're on episode 8. I want to talk about Blood and Guts. I couldn't watch it because I don't have cable. I don't have YouTube TV, so therefore I can't watch any cable. However, though, I did hear about everything that happened. More particularly, everybody's been talking about the main event of Blood and Guts, but that was the match pit that was put together between the Inner Circle and the Pinnacle, which just for those that don't know, was a brand new faction that had formed earlier this year. I want to say maybe about 2 months ago, maybe a month, maybe last month. I think 2 months ago. I can't even remember. But either way, this faction is led by MJF. You have Tully Blanchard in there. You've got FTR. You've got Sean Spears and Wardlow in there. And Wardlow's in there as well. So you've got those guys. They make up what is the Pinnacle, and then Inner Circle. Everybody's known from day one. It's been led by Chris Jericho. Then you got Sammy Guevara, Jake Hager, Santana, and Ortiz in the Inner Circle. So that's just a little rundown on who's in what faction. So they've really hyped this up for quite a few weeks now, and they've been building and building and building. And I honestly think watching their promo segments week after week, it's just they've been doing such a fantastic job at just building this match up. And you think that the Inner Circle is gonna win because you're rooting for the babyface. You're always rooting for the babyface in the storyline because you're hoping that the hero always wins. However, you know, there are some other people that will be rooting for the villain, and you know, you've got people that will root for the heels. So, you know, you've got one and or the other, but when it comes to those types of storylines. So, let's mainly just talk about the main event, cuz I don't think anybody really gave a flying crap about everything else. I think the reason why the Blood and Guts was number 1 on the program was mainly because of the main event between the Pinnacle and the Inner Circle. The Blood and Guts match was, I didn't even know. I've got a small idea of what Blood and Guts was as a pay-per-view. Blood and Guts was basically another name for the War Games. It's basically a War Games style type of matchup where you got the 2 rings and then the cage, and you've got all these guys that are going at it. And they just enter in one by one, kind of like the Royal Rumble, and they just go in and they just start fighting. Nobody gets eliminated. The only way to win is by, I believe it's either by pinfall or submission. You just keep fighting, and you keep fighting, and until, you know, you can't anymore. And Blood and Guts lived up to the name of Blood and Guts. This wasn't just any sort of War Games style type of match. This actually was War Games mixed in with the blood and the guts. You know, you've got to have a lot of guts to open up your opponent and have a lot of blood come out. Or, in other words, open them up until you see their guts, which I most likely would not have been allowed on television, and that wouldn't be allowed in general, because that would ultimately kill the person. So, you shouldn't do that in real life. But, anyways. So, it was a really good match. That was a really good. I feel like the build-up was really good. I feel like that the match was really good. There were some spots in there that I thought told a really good story. More particularly the ending, where you have MJF and Chris Jericho on top of the cage. They're both bloody. They're both bloodied up. They're beat up. They're sweating. Their blood is basically dripping all over their faces. And MJF puts on his ring, his diamond ring, on his pinky, and he knocks out Chris Jericho, and he throws him off the cage. And I'm not even sure what the winning move was, but the Pinnacle ended up winning the match. And at the end of it all, you had MJF stand on top of the cage. He's looking down at Chris Jericho, who had been thrown off the cage and onto a platform that was collapsible, thank goodness. Or a platform that was set there specifically for Jericho to fall on, and it collapsed. So thank goodness that it collapsed and it gave way, because if it didn't give way, then obviously we wouldn't see Chris Jericho on television anymore. And that wouldn't be good. He would probably have been permanently paralyzed. But thank goodness there was a platform there. I thought that they didn't even put in a platform, but once I was looking around for other pictures, because I was trying to find a usable photo for this shot, kind of like of how I did last week with Roman Reigns. I wanted to do the same thing for MJF and Chris Jericho, but I wasn't able to find one. So, hence this Grand Slam logo picture. But anyways, the show ends with MJF standing on top of the cage, bloodied up, beat up, and everything. He's looking down. He's looking down at Chris Jericho, who he had thrown off the top of the cage, and he says the words, "You're welcome," because you know, he's been wanting the top spot for such a long time, and he has shown that through his promos and through his in-ring ability, and you know, and he brags about it, and you know, as a heel should. He just brags about it. He runs his mouth about wanting to be at the top, and then due to some sort of interference or any sort of equalizer, hence the diamond ring. That's how you get to the top when it comes to being a heel. So, just from the aspect of how this storyline was built up, I feel like that this was a really good storyline between the Inner Circle and the Pinnacle, and with MJF, joining the Inner Circle, and trying to break them up, or more specifically, try to become the leader of the Inner Circle, try to take out Chris Jericho, and having Sammy Guevara quit, and then Sammy Guevara come back, and and just from there, leads up to MJF's faction coming in, saving the day for MJF, and the Pinnacle is formed, and then Inner Circle comes back. They take the fight to the Pinnacle. Chris Jericho gives MJF a swirly in the toilet, and then all of a sudden the Inner Circle challenges the Pinnacle to a blood and guts match, which was perfectly built up, in my opinion. I feel like that the build up to this match was really good, and I really don't have anything else to say, about this. I've nothing but good things to talk about when it comes to blood and guts, because, it did live up to its name. I feel like that it could have been a little bit, I feel like that it could have been just a tad bit of a different concept. Actually, well, even though it kind of was, in a way, it was a little bit different than your typical War Games kind of match, where MJF and Chris Jericho had wound it up outside of the cage and on top of the cage as well. And I feel like it was more brutal than any typical War Games style kind of match. But, at the end of the day, I feel like it was good, regardless of what kind of ring structure that you put up, whether it be a War Games style type of match, whether it be like a First Blood match. Yeah, First Blood match. Any type of match. I feel like it would have been really good nonetheless. But that's about it. That's all that I really have to say. Like I said, I have nothing but good things to talk about when it comes to the Blood and Guts match. I'm more particularly the match. So yeah, that about does it for me. Thank you guys a lot for watching. If you liked it, be sure to give this video a like, and if you have not considered subscribing yet, I recommend you do so to keep up with some fine content coming out in the near future. And I know this was kind of short and sweet, but I just wasn't gonna spend about an hour or so mainly just talking about one entire pay-per-view or one entire match. I just wanted to come in here, just give a little blip of what I felt about, just mainly particularly focusing in on the storyline between Jericho and MJF with their factions and whatnot. So, that's mainly why I created this episode and wanted to do it. So anyways, that about does it for me. Thank you guys a lot for watching. I'm Elijah Leonard, signing out, and I'll see you on the next one. Oh, well. Oh, maybe. Okay, here we go. I'll see you guys later.